I'm sure it's the final for everybody over in the Philippines, and if you're listening to us live, welcome. We hope you're enjoying the coverage. Two masters of the game of 9-ball pool, and wasn't it great to see the welcome in the crowd from newly converted 9-ball fans in the UK who rise to the occasion to watch these two play. A number of years back winning the World Championship here in Cardiff at his first attempt, and here he is making a claim to win once again here.
And I'll just echo my co-commentator's credentials in this game. The year after, into play with the red 3, just to remind you of the rules, you have to hit the low ball on the table, work through the rest unless there's a plant or a cannon that takes you to the 9 quick. Nicely developed, and look what he's left.
Imagine that Efren Reyes, even though he hasn't got his cue action going yet, should really make this 9-ball.
All right! Rock and roll! That's what can happen! That's the rules, slow ball, but if you've got the brains and the angular knowledge, you can finish it quick and make your opponent sick.
Yes, and Efren Reyes has not as hard a break as Francisco Bustamante, but possibly has more variety of break-off. You can hit them even harder than this, and that was pretty hard, but controlled. This 1-ball does not go in the centre pocket like it did last year. The rack has been moved back to its original position. But you see this 1-ball going to the head cushion. If you don't hit it hard enough, it doesn't come off that back cushion.
Axe. This is a scalpel shot. But oh, that's could be fatal. Talking about scalpels, that's a slip.
But to get the cue ball across the table for the blue 2 into the top right pocket.
What's the trouble on this? Watch the precision. He doesn't want to be straight. You never want to be straight in this. You want an angle.
Between the 5 and the 9 to get this 3. Now he's got to do a bit more work with the cue ball to retain position. But if there's one person that knows his way around a pool table, it's this man. He's not called the magician for nothing.
Born in the barrios near Manila, Angeles City. When he was 10, he was sleeping underneath his uncle's pool table, and no American would play against him. And he has that lovely slang. Rack's a friend. Rail cushion. English.
Slightly unluckily on the 3-ball, but it was a mistake in positional play. Compounded error of a small.
They just start getting more awkward. Bustamante, genius with a cue, handles it like D'Artagnan.
What a great shot that was. And all of a sudden, oh, that is ridiculous. That is totally ridiculous. Reyes, I don't think will be playing the, well, he obviously didn't, it's gone now, the 5-9 combination. These balls are sitting. We'll leave a natural angle to come down the table for an open pocket attempt on the 9.
It's about 110 pounds English, 110 thou in Tokyo in the Open, and he did help rebuild a village with quite a lot of that money. He's a national hero. This is why. Kingdom, all World Pool are here represented in our last stages, 8 players. We have Japanese players, American players, we have a European, but here are 2 of the finest players that will ever grace the planet. 2 brilliant Filipinos, dicing it after a place in the last 8. Efren Reyes.
Whether he altered his break-off to stop that 1-ball going to the bottom cushion. He came up a bit awkward on the 2, and this was very risky. It was probably because I don't watch enough pool, but I didn't know any of them did actually possess a jump cue. What a great shot there from...
Absolutely. The idea
is something that very few of the Filipinos do employ, but perhaps because Bustamante lives in Germany, he's followed the tradition of most of the rest of the world in employing a jump cue. Across
very
the face
clumsy miss by him.
Cued across the face of that with the cue, if you could see his cue action there. Great line with the cue, and he perhaps imparted a bit of right-hand spin, which initially pushed Ricky's shot, and he hasn't really had any shots.
Yes, in will step the maestro, Efren Reyes Bata. That's the younger. There was another Efren Reyes. I think he made a few bugs.
Intentional to send that cue ball around the angles. His only problem now is he's going to have to employ a certain amount of ball. bottom and left-hand spin. He hit that a bit too hard, and he lost the white ball, and he's...
Well,
A mistake from Reyes. Hit
the cloths are like butter and ice. There's no nap at all on this, so your control.
When you mentioned the Minnesota of Leeds, Ian Williamson, you suggested he put a bit of weight on since I last saw him.
Certainly has. Still wheels a mean queue though, and all the kids there in Leeds not playing snooker anymore. He's got about 14-year-olds who now play this game.
Bustamante draws one back after a mistake from Efren Reyes. Hold your head in this match, and as it is, Bustamante has advantage. Well, a wing ball down.
Oh, but that last half row.
Nobody has yet done it to perfection every day of their career at very least. And pick a place on the table. And I'll tell you what he's done there. He looks to be queuing on the left of this, but he does queue across. Well, that was...
Well shot.
One for the lads in the slips.
That was a true jump shot. And he'll be using the one straight onto the 9. The easiest, peasiest of wins in this rack.
The Filipino equivalent of yardy, yardy, yardy. Clever clubs. Have a bit of that. Busty tries the jump. Efren has the last lap there. He leads 5-4. Young man, he's 24 years of age, and he's the best player in Chinese Taipei, and that is a tough, tough, tough school. Chinese Taipei.
He's got to be careful he doesn't lose the one over the pocket and send it along the top rail. Oh, that was magnificent as well. Knew exactly what was going to happen. Every to play. It's been a marvellous match, but possibly not the match that Reyes would be hoping for. I think Reyes would excel in a match where clever shots were needed. In open.
Well, we've been talking about him ever since he hit the American tour about 12 years ago as a future world champion. 98, he was #1 on the Camel Tour in the World Championship here. He got to the semi-final when Efren won it.
The ball at the right speed gave it every chance of dying into the pocket. Bustamante once again in perfect position. And also, thinking back along the match, being in the match, he was in all sorts of trouble there until he cut that ball in.
Here we go, and 2 cushions to make this. He could do this standing up in the dark in a hammock.
Important.
Leading by 10 racks to 8.
I think he went ahead and won that rack.
Here we go then.
Great break, got a bit of action on the one he didn't want, on the cue ball he didn't want.
Oh, but look how the one is landed. Game over, you'd reckon.
Very much.
Well, parallel on the mezzanine, Yang is in a rack that will take out former world champion Efren Reyes.
Well, I expected or hoped series of 9-ball pool, you can just have a bad day. If Johnny Archer were to go out, that would leave just Earl the Pearl Strickland as the table between Bustamante and Reyes. Bustamante so close and looks very cool and very through to the semi-finals this evening.
Trickles the green in. Sweet as you would like. Just got to work it into the cush. Game over. Francisco Bustamante sinks the hopes of the former champ Efren Reyes. We have mentioned